In the 16th century BC, when the Hebrews were slaves in Egypt for 400 years, one Hebrew child was adopted by the princess of Egypt, his name Moses. Now, here's a part most people don't know. In ancient Egypt, royal women, especially princesses and queens, had near unlimited adoption rights. They owned properties, signed contracts, ran estates, and had legal autonomy that would shock modern cultures. A pharaoh's daughter could adopt whoever she wanted. Once declared, the child gets all royal privileges, including right to inherit the throne. So, what did this mean for boy Moses? While other Hebrews served as slaves in the palace, Moses lived like royalty, a true Egyptian prince. They taught him how to read their secret war scrolls, how to command chariots, gave him unrestricted access to military war rooms. He knew the court politics, every military drill, every forbidden spell in their libraries. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Egypt accidentally sharpened the blade that would one day cut their empire in half. And now to the big question: why Moses of all people? A privileged Nepo baby who grew up on Egyptian luxury. When Moses turned 40, he secretly murdered an Egyptian taskmaster who was beating a Hebrew. That one act that forced him to flee Egypt for his dear life. To Midian, a desert nation northwest of Arabia, east of the Gulf of Aqaba where the Red Sea is. And in this desert, he spent the next 40 years shepherding his father-in-law's flock. And this is where it gets wild. When Israel finally left Egypt, the biblical route, confirmed by almost every serious Exodus scholar, went straight through the Midianite territory. And it gets deeper. Note this: the Israelites spent 40 years in the wilderness of Media before they entered the promised land. Fun fact: Moses was perfectly trilingual. Yes, literally the only Hebrew alive who could stand before Pharaoh and speak flawless royal Egyptian like a native prince, turn to the Hebrew slaves and speak their language, and in the Median desert negotiate like a local because he understood their customs, their water rights, their grazing treaties. So really, who was gonna do the job? He knew and understood Egyptian politics, wizardry, and their military strategy. Not to mention the desert routes, the Midianite culture. And what does this mean? It means when the Israelites marched through Midianite lands, they weren't just walking blindly into danger. They were following a man who has spent 4 decades mapping every well, every route, every safe shelter. So tell me, is all this coincidence? Or did God handpick Moses long before he was born? Listen, I've dropped a gem in the comment section. Basically extra juice from one of the lost books of the Bible. This book called the Book of Jubilee. I'll be in the comment section also. Let's hear your point on this. And look, this one's too big to keep to yourself alone. Share this video with someone else, please. Subscribe and like the video too. The algorithm really loves when you do that. Thank you for this one. And a big shout out to all of you who supported me in my last video. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you in my next one. Subscribe for more. Bye.